Welcome back. You're listening to At Your Service here on Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media. I'm your friend Vernon Darby. I must express my concerns for the ambassador for the United States of America. We wish him well and we hope that he recovers fully. Ambassador, you make sure you fight it, never give up. And we wish you all the best. To all the staff there, you all be strong there at the United States Embassy. All right, coming up right now is the Job Center.
Na 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 na. Lazy body. We love the people them can work. We can't do the lazy body people them. Watch out. Every person must work. I don't like that. Work. Every person must work. Young or old, work harder.
Where is my partner? No, I'm not hearing my partner in here at all. All right, okay. Let's go right into it. I'm your friend Vernon Darby, and we have Rochelle Reed James, CEO of Caribbean Society of HR Professionals, and Simone Bowe, one of the vice presidents of Caribbean Society of HR Professionals. Good to have you this morning.
Good to be here.
Thanks for having us.
Really? Let me see who is where now. Rochelle, where are you?
I am a Jamaican, but I am based in Barbados.
In Barbados? Now you sound like you're Jamaican still.
Jamaican through and through.
Oh man, but you need to pick up the Barbadian accent. I don't understand you. A lot of people don't know, you know. But what about Simone?
When you're born, you're you know.
That the patcha so too stush. Simone Bowe, you're one of the vice presidents of Caribbean Society of HR Professionals. How are you and where are you?
I am in the Bahamas.
I know that. And it's better in the Bahamas.
Ah, that's what they say.
But I say to them, it's better in the Bahamas, but it's best in Jamaica.
Ah, that's all right. We'll give it to you.
What a lovely place. Yes, two lovely places. Barbados, yes. Beautiful, lovely people. Very relaxed. I love now what they call the flying fish there. A Marvin drink there from Barbados. And from Bahamas, what they call again? South?
South? Hey, how you know about South?
You don't know about South. I don't understand you.
He's well fed, Simone.
Oh, okay.
Respect to
the foodie.
Ask about Cat Island and all those places. Oh,
man, yes. Wait.
And Bimini.
What? Man, you a Bahamian.
And then you must tell me about that lovely hotel you have there. What's it called? The Atlantis?
Oh, the Atlantis, yes. And you have you been to Bahamas yet? That's the newest one.
You're going to ask me if I've been to Atlantis. I only can go to the door and look inside. It's great to have you, and it's great to have you as Caribbean people on this program. And this morning we're looking at HR. And before we get into, I know you have something coming up, but we're going to spend some time looking at HR professionals, the role that they are playing now. My partner, I think we have a challenge getting her on. Let me see if she is now on. Erica, are you there? No, still not getting Erica at all.
Oh, I'm hearing you loud and clear.
No, I'm hearing you. No, yes, I'm saying that with what is happening in the world and Caribbean and in Jamaica too, for some reason I feel sometimes organizations do not understand the importance of the HR professional, and sometimes they just have them in the organization there. So when you have a little dispute, they can say, go keep them quiet. But I'm sure, Erica, from your perspective, you see more in terms of the role of the HR professional in an organization. I know you're at heart there. There's been quite a bit of training there of workers. And sometimes I wonder, even though it's now 2020, do we really understand the role of HR persons? And then you have small entities who say, listen, me too small. I can't bother with them at all.
They are very, very important. They have a very important role to play. Hi, Simone and Rochelle.
Hi.
Yeah. The HR professional is more so important today, especially in light of what we're now experiencing. the kind of role you have to play in terms of supporting role, even to the employees as we go through this pandemic, among other things, while at the same time trying to continue to produce and balancing family and work and everything else. It has become, and maybe your society has a very, very important role to play as it relates to the standard that is also set for the professionals in the field, yes? And also to continue to create this awareness that persons are aware of the roles and function and the support that HR is there to provide to employees.
Now, ladies, I'm going to come to you now. What we are quite aware of is a record-keeping aspect of HR. And I'm sure you're going to tell me that is not all. But organizations, they understand the importance, keeping attendance records, records having to do with leave and so on. But I'm sure you're going to tell me that the HR, the professional person, their job goes far beyond just record keeping. And the head of the organization ought to see the HR as a professional playing a very important role in terms of giving advice and support to the top management of the company.
Yes, that's very true. And especially now when we're living in this COVID era, what you've found is that some organizations that probably didn't give as much emphasis to HR are recognizing now that HR has the responsibility to not just provide strategic direction in terms of how the company frames its policy response and cares for its people during this time, but also that HR is a strategic business partner and can be that strategic business partner, offering balance to the organization when it's going under a bit of turmoil, while also adding flavor and keeping employees engaged.
But you also have a problem, in that the workers will say, "Why HR defending management?" Well, management will say that HR is defending the workers.
Yes, that's very true, Vernon, and you've hit the nail right on the head, and it is a very fine line that HR professionals have to play. And we are the bridge. We are the bridge between employees and management. And so it is incumbent upon us to ensure that we don't play either side in out of balance. We have to represent the organization. We have to support the organizational rules and policies and procedures, but we also have to look out for the employees' interests as well. And I may get in trouble for saying this, but if we do HR well, then it would improve our relationships with unions, for instance, because unions really came into play because employers were not looking after the interests of employees. And I know for some companies, they prefer to not be unionized because it's easier to manage, but you can only do that if you're
really
looking out for everyone's interests. Yes, I can tell you.
I find it can be more difficult. Can you imagine you have a workforce and you're trying to negotiate with all of them? It must be easier to work to an organized workforce. Mark you if you're doing what is not right and you do certain things, then you will come up against a stone wall, and the good Lord help you.
Well, some management feels it's harder because, the union will keep their feet to the fire, so to speak, and they come hard negotiating, So.
And, many management, those who are not, I should say, they're not aware and they're not enlightened. And the studies have been done to show that workers are not just about money. It's about their self-esteem. It's much more than just money.
Funny you should say that, because earlier this year we did a survey right across the region covering all 16 countries that we represent.
When you say they, what do you mean?
We did a survey with HR professionals and employees. Okay. And what we found is that when you asked about compensation or job satisfaction, money was the last thing selected every single time. It is about being valued at work and having the opportunity, a clear path for career development and upward mobility. So once employees see that their careers are being developed, and once they see where they're actually contributing tangibly to the organization, you find that they feel way more appreciated.
And I think, yes, go ahead.
I was going to say, too, to add to what Rochelle has said, a lot of people have attributed this to a millennial characteristic, but that's not the case. Many different generations of workers want the same thing. It's just that the older generations have kind of mastered that art of suffering in silence. But when you really dig into what employees want and need, they want to contribute. They want to have work with meaning. They want work-life balance. They want respect and growth and advancement.
That is true. I like the term that the older generation, the baby boomers, have suffered in silence. It's an interesting way of saying that. But the millennials are also demanding what they want at the workplace, and I think they are succeeding.
I'll even add to what you said, because sometimes persons lump together millennials and Gen Z. And Gen Zers are far more demanding than millennials. Millennials will leave your organization if they do not feel appreciated, feel recognized, and if there's no clear opportunity for growth. But Gen Zers might not even come. They would much rather, and it has been my experience even in recruitment, they'd rather not be a full-time or a permanent employee, but on a contract or a part of what we call the gig economy, as opposed to being saddled or tied to your company.
Well, another way to put it is that the young persons nowadays are not really committed, and that's a challenge to get persons committed to your organization. But then, lest we forget, and it's a Caribbean experience, especially after the post-colonial era, when, from slavery now into a more modern society, that the whole trade union movement developed right across the Caribbean. And it's my understanding, ladies, you can help me, that is from the trade union development that the political systems developed after that. And so all of it is linked, and makes the HR professionals become more important, because in the early days you didn't have any HR professionals. Now we have HR professionals, and now we have an organization. When we come back, I want you to tell me more about what can be achieved. Tell me about that organization and what you plan to do in terms of organizing HR professionals across the Caribbean. And of course, what they call it now, it failed. You know what I'm talking about. It's a sad thing which I don't want to go into. But, well, while they might not have political unity, it's amazing that professionals from across the Caribbean can work together. And now I understand that workers can move from one Caribbean country to the other, at least some of them. So when we come back, we talk about the organization, what you're trying to achieve, to what extent you're achieving it, and how as a Caribbean people, we might not have political unity, but at least we are uniting in various fields and in various ways. And that is why you're surprised I know about the Caribbean. I know lots about the Caribbean. I'm a Caribbean man. So come back. Don't move. When we come back, we continue the conversation with Rochelle Reed James, CEO of Caribbean Society of HR Professionals, and Simone Bowe, one of the vice presidents of Caribbean Society of HR Professionals. I am Vernon Darby.
And I'm Erica Williams.
So come back.
Lazy body. We love the people them can work. We can't do the lazy body people them. Watch out. Every person must work. I don't like that. Work. Every person must work. Young or old. Work harder.
Welcome back. You're listening to At Your Service here on Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media, the People's Program, the People's University. I am Vernon Darby. And our guests are Rochelle Reed James, CEO of Caribbean Society of HR Professionals, and Simone Bowe, one of the vice presidents of Caribbean Society of HR Professionals. And the HR stands for, I keep on saying HR. I'm sure my listeners are saying, some of them are saying, Vernon, what is HR? Ladies, are you there?
Oh, yes, we're here. It stands for human resource.
Right. Now we're looking now at because I understand that you have an organization, and where the politicians failed in terms of uniting the Caribbean, you ladies are on a route to unite us in terms of dealing with HR matters across the Caribbean, and that is quite interesting.
Well, Vernon, I'll go a step further to say I believe that we've already achieved that
What?
because we started just last year with only a few persons interested, and already we've been able to cover 16 countries from the English, French, and Dutch speaking Caribbean, and we have close to 800 professionals in our network or in our community, all practicing HR practitioners. We're trying to be.
And I hope you told them to listen to the program today. I hope you told them all to listen to the program. I hope so.
Oh my, the group is all a buzz already.
Really?
So
Good morning to my friends in St. Vincent. Yes, also Barbados. Yes.
St. Kitts, Haiti,
Antigua,
Belize, Antigua and Barbuda, Suriname.
By the way, it's in Antigua. Them bear the bread just like in old time days at the brick over. Oh, it's lovely.
Yes.
And my friends in Trinidad, except I'm scared of the snakes in Trinidad.
And St. Lucia.
And listen, we have to mention Guyana and Grenada.
Yes, Guyana.
There are many others, Dominica, Turks and Caicos. The list
Grenada is beautiful.
On. Yes, it is.
And who else is on my? If you leave out anybody, you are going to be in big trouble, not me.
I did go to the Bahamas, Simone, how could I? And Jamaica.
Exactly.
Beautiful beaches, a beautiful sea in Bahamas. I hope you have recovered from the hurricane last year. I hope. Oh boy.
Well, we're still in process. In process. COVID is not helping, but
I know.
A resilient people in this region. So,
which are the countries we have left? Make sure you don't leave out any of those countries.
St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I think I mentioned Turks and Caicos.
Did you mention Belize?
Yes, I did. I
know.
You
can't afford to.
We have a big contingent in Belize. Very
really?
big.
About St. Lucia,
yes.
Simone?
Yes, and St. Lucia.
Oh, the place what they call it, Twin Sister Mountain. Is that the way they have there's two mountains. What they call it again in St. Lucia? Yeah, man.
Oh yes, the twin.
Right.
Yes, I know what you mean. I just can't remember the name.
And St. Vincent, you have the volcano there, Sophia, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we have a rather large network, and it's not just a group of persons who probably connects via email once in a while. We actually connect and have discussions and seminars and cross-country learning every single week. So it is a very close community of professionals. One of our favorite things to do, and I know Simone can speak to this, is that every month we have what is called a war room session, because the practice of HR in the Caribbean is like nowhere else. You mentioned how we have this strong culture of unions. Right? We have a very strong union culture in the region, which is unique to us. So every month, at the beginning of the month, in these war room sessions, we take on topical issues where we don't yet have a best practice or a cohesive response. And we look at what has been happening in the different countries, and we come up with a cohesive solution or a way forward that works in the different contexts and across our region.
You want to mention some of these, because even the whole idea of flexi hours and so on, you want to mention some of these things that you have discussed that my listeners might be interested in.
Some of the issues.
Yes.
Well, the first one that I'll tackle is what our post-COVID response is, because remote work is something that is was fairly new to the Caribbean. So once COVID hit, a lot of organizations were trying to figure out how to implement remote working strategies, what other options they could have. So we had a war room session on our post-COVID response. It was actually hosted by Simone. Some other topics include reshaping the perception of HR, because you mentioned before that HR might be perceived as just personnel or just paper and record keeping.
And you know, Rochelle, right? Let me just tell both of you something. It's very sad, you know, that this remote working, or I wouldn't call it remote. I just said not working at the office. We think it's a new thing. It is not new at all. We have had VPN out there for years now. So you know, if our management personnel were ahead, they would have implemented this long ago, because of the traffic congestion right across the Caribbean, whether it's Jamaica, Trinidad, we're going to all this capital of Trinidad, traffic and so on. If you had more persons working from home, I check on my Google thing, I spent over 30 odd hours on the road. I could have a second job, or a third, or a fourth.
Yeah, I think it's the perception of feeling like you have to watch people work. And I think that is definitely pervasive. Yes, the micromanaging and feeling like, you know, I don't see you sitting at your desk. And what's so funny about that, I mean, it's really hilarious, because you can have people sitting at their desk and you're watching them and they're watching you too. So what's the difference?
I'm not being productive.
Oh, by the way,
being productive.
But let me tell you something, the management not better than you know. I've known one VP, see, he used to sit in his office. Anytime you see he closes that door, see, you know, he's playing card game on his computer whole day. So it's amazing. The man, I'm telling you from experience, he play card games the whole day on his computer. So this whole idea that is a workers you need the whip for, I would say no. Management, they probably, because if you put the whip on the backs of management, they probably, I don't really mean whip, because we don't use that thing nowadays. If you put the pressure on management, teach them how to encourage, and they encourage the workers, then you'll have greater productivity.
Absolutely.
Most certainly.
So that's one of the things too that we've had to discuss, was how do we now measure and manage performance in this context? And it's more about the deliverables, it's more about the goal setting, it's more about what you want to achieve at the end of the day, and what are they producing. And it doesn't matter if they're in the office or they're at home or whatnot. It's where's the organization going, and how does that translate or cascade to the employee and what they do every day. And I think what this is becoming glaringly obvious is that it's confirming that we have a problem with productivity, and that we're not distributing work well. And so you have some people who were able to jump right in and keep things going. You have some people who are out there floundering and they need help. And you have some people who are just not pivoting at all. And so it's a great opportunity for human resources and management to work together to identify who is in the organization, who is actually producing, and how do we help those people who may perhaps need the reskilling or the upskilling or whatever it is that they need to be able to function in this environment.
Well, let me tell you something. We're going to go for the break now, but Erica, we are good at watching the clock. The workers watch the clock, and management watch the clock also. They can tell you what time you came in. And if you came in 10 minutes late, well, they draw a red line and probably dock your pay. And you make sure when 5 o'clock is coming, you start wind down from probably 4 o'clock. And you watch the clock. And as 5 o'clock approaches, you pack up everything and you're gone. Well, I hear the HR professionals talking about, what they call it now, this big word, deliverables.
Yes,
in this society,
effort.
nowadays, from you go on time or you leave on time, you have delivered. It is just amazing.
But Vernon, we need some policy guidelines to guide remote work. The fact that now it is increasing.
Well, guess what? The
We
HR
have that.
professionals
Oh,
will
you
have
have
to
that?
guide that way, and I'm going to depend on you now and keep in touch with me, provide information. I'll help to share it because we
Certainly.
have to go on a new path. Is that watching the clock, who come in on time and who leave on time, but who deliver, who increase their productivity so that the Caribbean area, especially now where COVID has put us on a level playing field, that we can probably
Mm-hmm.
come out on top. Who delivers, but not who arrives on time and leaves
And we
on
have a
time.
win-win situation, both
Right.
employees and the employer.
All right, gonna go for the break right now. You're listening to At Your Service here on Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media. What an interesting discussion, and we do hope that this organization grows from strength to strength. Our guests are Rochelle Reed James, CEO of Caribbean Society of HR Professionals, and Simone Bowe, one of the vice presidents of Caribbean Society of HR Professionals. And she's from the Bahamas, as they say. It's better in the Bahamas. I'm Vernon Darby.
And I'm Erica Williams.
So come back, don't move.
Na 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 na. Lazy body. We love the people them can work. We can't do the lazy body people them. Watch out.
Welcome back. You're listening to At Your Service here on Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media. I am Vernon Darby.
And I'm Erica Williams.
And my guests are Rochelle Reed, James, CEO of Caribbean Society of HR Professionals, and Simone Bowe, one of the vice presidents of Caribbean Society of HR Professionals. And we have a call on the line. Let's just go to this caller. Good morning. You have 1 second.
Oh, really funny. Good
Where are you
morning,
calling
Mr.
from?
Darby. Good morning, Miss Erica, and good morning to your guest, Mr. Darby. Mr. Darby, you know what I would love for these ladies in the HR sector to address?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. You hearing me, Mr. D?
Go ahead. Just go ahead.
Okay. With this fact of HR, well, what I find, I have children in that sector, and they don't get to work at home. And mostly HR, if anybody else staying in office, it's them. And I also have a child who works from home. You know what he says? He says, Mom, I work more than I'm in the office. Why? When you work remote, you're supposed to be the same hours. You're giving people more work. It's frustrating. So I think those areas need to be addressed.
All right. Thank you very much. Quality is not too hard, but I think I got the point. Ladies, you got the point?
Yeah, yes, I did. I'll
Right.
touch on the HR part of it first. The sad reality is that as HR professionals, we work in a department that doesn't have a front door. It means that when everyone else is home working, most times we'll have to be in office or on the ground taking care of the people who take care of the business. And that is just the nature of the HR profession and the HR professional. In terms of the other point though, it comes down to personal responsibility. So remote work or working from home will force you into this space of euphoria where, okay, you get up out of bed and you just start working, and then you probably sit by a laptop or sit by a desk right up until night again. So you now have to prepare a schedule and manage your time wisely, because there isn't a supervisor or a clock there to say, I need to get out of the office, or you don't have to rush through traffic, which reminds you then you can't stay beyond 5 o'clock.
Okay, then now we have a few minutes left, only about 2 minutes left. Tell us about this organization. Any events coming up? You'll have about 2 minutes left.
All right, so the organization on a whole, if you want to learn more, you can visit our website. It's csharpteam.com, or you can send us an email.
You're going too fast.
I'm going too fast.
I don't type so fast, you know.
So it's C-sharp, CSHRP, abbreviation for Caribbean Society for Human Resource Professionals, CSHRP, team at gmail.com. That's our email address, on our website is cshrpteam.com.
So SHARP
No
team.
A, just CSHRP team.com. That's our website.
Right. So,
And the same thing, just that dot between the C# and the team at gmail.com if you want to email us.
sharp dot
Okay.
team.
Do you have any journal, any kind of publications?
So we have a database of over about 150 policies, employment documents, laws, and articles on our website that are available to anyone practicing HR interested in finding out more. Those are all available through our website.
But should be also for anybody at all, because we all need to learn about HR.
Oh, yes, especially if you have a small business and you can't afford to hire an HR professional like Simone or with that level of expertise, then you can reach out to us as well.
And I will say to you, if you have a small business and you really want it to grow, you better try to get somebody, a professional, to help you. Because when you're running that little business, that's where you don't know how to treat people. Because you have my business, it is my personal business, and you will learn after a while. What becomes mine is not yours after a while, because they've been done.
Oh, yes, indeed.
Totally agree.
So this year we are celebrating our 1-year anniversary on the 12th of November, and we will be hosting what we call our congressional meeting. So we invite HR professionals right across the region to join that meeting, and it's going to be on the 25th of November, hosted through Zoom. So if you're interested in attending, you can contact us via email again. It's csharp.team@gmail.com.
Well, we have to go, and I will tell you where you ought to put the emphasis, you see, is on management. That is where the real challenge is. Management. And I would love to see the day where your director of HR is reports to the board. Just like your auditor. Because even the manager needs to sometimes be guided. And if you report to the board, you'll be assessing everybody, including the manager. So I pray, I hope you lobby for that. The day when your HR specialist or HR director, whatever you call it, reports directly to the board. Just like your internal, the head of your internal audit. What a day that will be.
Great rejoicing in the land.
Yes, and I have another suggestion. I do think that governments are starting in the Caribbean. They need an HR professional working with government who deals with parliamentarians. They need it.
Oh boy.
Amen. Preaching to the choir and the converted.
Yes.
All right.
Minister of Labor. You have my vote.
It was great talking to you, and great reminding me of my Caribbean brothers and sisters in Vincent, Barbados, Trinidad, Guyana, Belize, and don't forget Cuba also, and all the Caribbean islands. I can't remember all of them now. You have a wonderful morning. I know that quite a few of you are listening.
Thank
you. Thank you very much. Ladies, have a wonderful day. There we have it.
Thank you.
With Rochelle Reed, James, CEO of Caribbean Society of HR Professionals, and Simone Bowe, one of the Vice Presidents of Caribbean Society of HR Professionals. Erica Williams, take care, all the best, and you have a wonderful day. Next week, we'll do it all over again.
Sure.
Take care. And of course, we have to look at those persons who are celebrating their birthday first. Let me see. I have Lenny Bailey, Captain Tessa Lewin there. Good morning, Captain Tessa Lewin. How you do? We also have Daniel Archer, presenter at Nationwide, and Deputy Prime Minister Horace Chang. You have a wonderful day. Now, I mentioned this yesterday that El Salvadorian national, Dora Alicia Valadares Morales, lost her passport when her vehicle was broken into at Sovereign North last week. A reward is being offered. So please, if you found her documents, you can go to Digicel head office downtown, and go to Digicel office downtown, and they'll definitely take care of you. And note also that there will be a forum on diabetes put on by a number of Rotary clubs and the Diabetes Association on November 14th. That's this Saturday. So keep watching my Facebook page at www.facebook.com/Vernon L. Darby for more information. And today is World Science Day for Peace and Development. And let me thank everybody. Me see Roshana Fitz Henley, my producer. No, not Mr. Cunningham. Jermaine Smith. Yes, he was here this morning. I think also Jermaine King. And I'm sure whoever I left out. No, Jermaine King and Jermaine Smith. Can you imagine two Jermaines? So, and listeners, thank you all for staying with me. And you have a wonderful day. And I just remind you of this one. Don't forget it. Where crime pays, crime stays. Vernon Darby saying to you, have a wonderful day. Walk good, my friend.